Hello friends, welcome to this transformative masterclass on relationships. I am super excited to have you here. If you're looking for ways to improve your life and relationships, you are in the right place. Whether you are married or single, what I will share over the next few minutes could truly change the way you think about your relationship choices. So stay tuned. I have so much to share. But since I cannot share everything due to time, and especially because the stories are inspired from true life events, and I do not want to expose too much details, I'll stick to the basics, just enough to guide you. So let's quickly jump into the story of 4 strong women whose choices in a life partner affected their lives significantly, but more importantly, I will show you what you can do to avoid these mistakes in your own life. Like I said before, I will be straightforward. No jargons, just enough to guide you toward making smarter and wiser decisions in your own case. I hope you have a pen and a jotter nearby. Are you ready to start? Let's quickly dive in, starting with Aziza's story. You see, Aziza, just like every other woman, had always dreamt of a love that felt right. Someone who would cherish her, support her growth, and build a future with her. But all she kept getting was disappointment. So after countless heartbreaks, she began to wonder if real love was even possible. Is it too much to ask? Every man who entered her life seemed promising at first, only to reveal their true colors: time wasters, pretenders, or just emotionally unavailable. Each disappointment crushed her and dashed away her hopes. Having had enough, Aziza knew she couldn't continue like this and be hoping for different outcome. But she just wasn't sure how to avoid falling into the same traps again and again. She wanted something real, an enlightened relationship, where both partners supported each other's dreams, not just in words but in action. Is it too much for a girl to want? Yet she kept falling into the same painful cycle of disappointment. Determined to change things, Aziza sought help, and that was the turning point for her. It's the first time she was doing something like this. Through guidance and self-reflection, she realized that her focus had been misplaced all along. She had been swept away by charm and attraction, ignoring subtle red flags in the hope that love alone would fix everything. Instead, she learned that real love requires emotional maturity, shared values, and mutual respect. She also learned to trust her instincts and listen to that inner voice, that silent inner voice that always warned her in the past. That's her intuition, her gut feeling. We all have this, but at times we do not listen to it. She learned that it was important to recognize that consistency in actions mattered more than any sweet words or empty, beautiful promises. And she became more alert to those who only pretended to be what she was looking for. She learned to differentiate the serious ones from the unserious ones, and she learned to unveil the time wasters and pretenders. Above all else, Aziza came to understand that an enlightened relationship is not just about finding someone to love, but about mutual growth. She needed a partner who was as committed to building a strong, future-focused relationship as she was, and who would stand by her in good times and the bad times too. Armed with this new knowledge, she was no longer willing to settle for less. She knew what she wanted, and this time she approached dating with confidence and clarity. And then she met Saeed. Saeed wasn't really flashy or so charming. He was not even a smooth talker, but she loved smooth talkers, but she understood that that's not, what she should focus on. But he was consistent. He shared her values, supported her ambitions, and above all, he showed up every day with respect and care. He was always there and never failed in his promises. Their connection wasn't built on fleeting excitement or the feelings of butterflies in her tummy, but on a deep sense of partnership. Together, they built a relationship rooted in trust, emotional growth, and shared dreams. After years of searching and disappointment, Aziza finally found the love she had always wanted. Today, she's happily married, living the life she dreamt of, with a partner who truly supports her and encourages her growth. Aziza's journey taught her that real love isn't about perfection. It's about finding someone who is committed to walking the path of life with you through the ups and downs with open eyes and open hearts. I mean, who wouldn't be happy? She was happy. So you see, her story is a reminder to you in a similar situation today to always trust your instincts. Don't ignore that inner voice. Know your self-worth, love yourself, and never settle for less than the love that you deserve. Do not settle for someone out of pity. I've had a lot of women come to me crying that they accepted a proposal out of pity because he was persistent, and now they are regretting because he's not even up to their expectation. So how many things will you regret over? That you did not even really like him, yet he is not even treating you right. How many things will you face? So you see, do not waste your time waiting for someone to change or to choose you, because you will never be good enough for someone who is not ready to see and appreciate you for who you are. Also, if you're dating someone who is too close to their mom, she tends to interfere too much or knows too much about your relationship. You would want to watch it closely and not rush into things. You don't want to be married to a mommy's boy or a mommy's girl. Real love is out there. When you are ready for it, when you have learned how to recognize it, my sister, go for it. I hope you have picked something from her story. And this brings me to the beginning of Kemi's story. Not the real name though, and yes, all names here are not their real names. I met Kemi a bit recently. In fact, she encouraged me to share her story so others can learn from her mistake. Kemi had always believed that she had found her Mr. Right and happily clung on her dreams of happily ever after. After all, she and Dele had courted for 3 long years before getting married. And everyone told her that taking time to truly know someone was the key to a successful marriage. Besides, she had known him about 2 years even before they started dating. So, what can ever go wrong, she thought. They shared dreams, planned a future, and spent countless hours together, and then he proposed. She was very happy. Who wouldn't be happy? When he proposed, she told me she doesn't want problems because she had just lost her mom, and her father developed BP due to the loss of his wife. This is because they were very close. They were a very close couple. That was her father and her mother. He assured her he was not going to disappoint her, and she happily accepted Dele's proposal. She was over the moons. To her, it felt like the perfect love story. God has finally granted her prayers. What more could a girl want? But shortly after the wedding, reality strikes. Dele changed. He became distant, impatient, wicked, and less interested in their plans. It was as though the man she married wasn't the same man she had been courting for years. Kemi was left heartbroken, wondering how everything went wrong. She thought about those 3 years together. How could she have missed this side of him? Was he always like this, or did he change overnight? The painful truth is that the signs were there all along. Kemi just didn't see them. And that's something many of us can relate to. When reality strikes and you look back, you'll see that the signs had always been there and it was clear. But when you are in the middle of it, caught up in love and the hope of future together, that's the hope of the future together, it's easy to miss the red flags. You'll think you know it all. She told me many things that happened during their courtship, which she did not think were issues, but after our discussion, she got to understand that they were actually red flags, but she took them for granted, thinking they were nothing. Dele's behavior did not just change. Kemi realized, looking back, that he'd avoided difficult conversations, dismissive when she expressed her feelings, and hardly took responsibility when things went wrong. But that time, she didn't think much of it. She was carried away, planning their wedding, imagining the beautiful future together. and making sure things worked out. She said she believed he was just busy, as he is a hard-working young man, and so she thought he would be a provider. She was so invested in the idea of who Dele could be that she failed to see who he truly was. Kemi stayed in her marriage for 10 agonizing years, trying to keep her family together to make it work. But the pain of living with someone who is more of an enemy of progress and does not really care became unbearable. Seeing how her parents had a good marriage, she never wanted to have a broken marriage. She had been afraid of becoming a single mother of 2 children, which is why she struggled to keep the marriage intact despite all the suffering. He would hurt her this minute, apologize the next minute, and then hurt her again. The pattern never stopped. In fact, he would hurt her even when something from outside the house annoys him. And he would come home, pour out all his anger on her. She was constantly walking on eggshell around the house. He would beat her, molest her and all. I'm an advocate of fighting for your marriage and make it work. But I could not comprehend the level of pain she endured. In fact, the more she told me, the more I asked her if that was the point she left. Yet, she would say no. She endured so much. He was all form of a very toxic partner. At the end, she realized that living was the only way she could live due to the constant emotional and physical abuse. She eventually had to run for her dear life. She left when her toddler almost lost his life, trying to save her from the father. The father strangled her, was almost, she was getting breathless. So the little boy thought to save his mother, and then he flew the guy. Thank God he didn't die. She was so traumatized for her little son, even though she had no means to cater for her 2 kids, because he left her in debt due to the loan she took on his behalf to help him expand his business. She gave her all, yet he treated her like trash. She was so traumatized. I don't want to, I said I wasn't going to go into too much detail, but she was very traumatized. Her story shows how crucial it is for people, especially women, to choose wisely. Shine your eye, knowing that this one decision can either lead to lifelong happiness or mar you for life. A life partner can either contribute to your happiness or rob you of it. Kemi's experience is similar to that of many women who find themselves in marriages where their dreams and identities are dying slowly. For women, this choice bears a heavier weight. While men can also face difficulties in marriage, women often suffer more in marriages because while some men have the option of polygamy, I've never seen where a woman has such a privilege. And when things go wrong in marriage and women fall into temptation, it's seen as a taboo. But when men indulge in sin, it's seen as normal. I'm not in any way supporting such, but women need to be more careful in making this decision of a life partner. Honestly, we don't have the luxury of making careless choices as women. The truth is that the partner you choose can seriously affect your happiness and well-being in life. A wrong choice can lead to years of emotional pain and stress, while a healthy relationship nurtures growth and fulfillment. You will just be glowing and be shining just like that. People will even be asking, what are you using? Now, peace of mind. See, Kemi learned that love, while important, is not always enough. Despite her good intentions, see what happened to her. A successful marriage requires emotional maturity, shared values, trust, and consistency. She realized that she had ignored her instincts and was carried away, allowing charm and surface level attraction to blind her to deeper issues like Dele's lack of accountability and emotional distance. Her experience is a powerful reminder that while love is beautiful, it should not be blind. Marry your friend. It's about finding someone who is committed to walking the path of life with you through the ups and downs with respect and responsibility. This is why I emphasize on shared values. Do not let the dream of a perfect relationship blind you to the reality of who someone truly is. Look closely. Trust your instincts. Ensure you are both on the same page about marriage. Never settle for less than the love you deserve and seek professional counseling for clarity, because you deserve the best and you are worth it. Your life is too important to let it play on autopilot. This story particularly got to me because it reminded me of others in similar or even worse situations with no solution in sight. But that's enough about Kemi. Let me quickly dive into Habiba's story. Her own story is a bit different but quite inspiring. For 2 years, Habiba felt like a prisoner in her own marriage. The love and warmth that once filled her home had disappeared, leaving behind a cold and distant silence. She and her husband had become strangers, barely speaking unless it was necessary, just about the kids. The joyful connection they once shared had withered like dried leaves, replaced by coldness, resentment, and the slow weakening of their bond daily. They no longer slept in the same room, and their interactions were limited to small talks and arguments about trivial matters. Each day felt heavier than the last. Habiba was consumed by regret, feeling trapped in a loveless marriage. She was choking. The thought of leaving crossed her mind daily, but easier said than done. But something was always holding her back: her lovely children. She couldn't bear the thought of them growing up in a broken home, so she stayed, despite the emotional pain she was suffering. During this tough time, Habiba turned to an old friend for comfort. Their conversations helped her cope, but soon she realized something alarming. She was starting to develop feelings for him. This emotional connection was growing stronger, and she knew it was wrong. Here she was, a married woman, on the verge of starting an affair, God forbid. Something she never thought she would do. Something she had always condemned. But she could not help herself, even though she wanted to make it stop. She enjoyed talking to her friend. It was her only outlet. It was wrong, and she was determined. She was determined to fix things. Habiba decided to seek help. As she worked on dealing with her feelings for her friend, she also began to look deeper into her marriage. Through therapy, she made a shocking discovery. She had been part of the problem. For years, she had believed all the issues were her husband's fault. But now, she realized she had played a role in their conflicts too. Therapy helped Habiba reflect on her own actions and attitudes. She learned that her husband had good qualities she had been ignoring. These were the very traits that attracted her to him in the beginning. With the therapist's guidance, she started to see things differently and began working on improving herself first, rather than blaming her husband for everything. Slowly, Habiba began to notice positive changes. She started communicating with her husband in a better way, stopped blaming him, and instead, she started speaking more openly about her feelings instead of keeping things to herself in her mind. She also began to appreciate his efforts, even the small ones she could not appreciate before. At first, the changes didn't seem like much, but over time, her husband responded too. They started having more meaningful conversations, and for the first time in years, began addressing their problems together. It wasn't an easy journey at all. There were moments when Habiba wondered if their marriage could truly be saved, but she kept going. Little by little, they started spending more time together and slowly began reconnecting. Trust started to rebuild, and hope returned to their relationship. Today, Habiba and her husband are still working on their marriage. It's not perfect, and they still face challenges, but they are committed to making it work. What once seemed like the end of their relationship is now a work in progress. They are rebuilding their bond with more honesty, understanding, and effort. Habiba's story shows that marriage isn't about being perfect, it's about growing and working together. It reminds us that even in the toughest times, there is hope for healing, so long as even one partner, is willing to put in the required effort. It shows that sometimes when we are willing to look inward with an open heart, without throwing around blames, we can see that the problem is not only from our husbands. She learned this when she sought help and was willing to work on herself. She saw the result. It saved her marriage and made it even better. Habiba was intentional and it helped her. Now let's shift our focus to Lara. Lara finds herself at a crossroad in her own marriage. Sensing that something essential was slipping away, she felt confused on how to go about it, but was determined to fight for her marriage. You see, Lara had been married for 10 years, but lately things felt so different. The spark in their relationship had faded, and their once exciting, vibrant love life had become a routine she no longer looks forward to. Night after night, it was the same. What used to fill her with joy now felt more like a chore. She hated, and the emotional gap between her and her husband seemed to be growing. They were growing apart. His friends were even trying to connect him to another woman. Deep down, Lara knew something needed to change fast. This was never how she imagined her marriage. Even though she knew she's a busy working class woman, she wasn't about to let go of her marriage easily. This wasn't just about keeping her husband interested. It was about finding joy and fulfillment in her marriage again. She knew her husband loved her, but there were subtle pressures. Some of his friends had taken younger wives, and she felt the unspoken expectations weighing heavily on her shoulder. But Lara wasn't ready to give up. She valued her marriage too much to let it fall apart. One evening, after seeing a post online, she had an idea. What if she could actually change things? Not by waiting for her husband to take the lead, or just to sit down and just let him to get married just like that, but by being intentional about what she wanted. She needed to change things. She was tired of feeling disconnected and wanted to feel alive in her marriage again. So she decided to take action. She sought out information and learned how to bring life back into her marriage. She discovered the importance of being present, creating connection, and being intentional about intimacy. It wasn't about big changes, but small, little, meaningful ones. She became more playful and creative in the bedroom, tried new things, and added spontaneity to their relationship. Little by little, things began to improve. Unknown to her, her husband was also feeling the same sense of disconnection and longing for change, but doesn't know how. He noticed the effort Lara was putting in and was genuinely happy with the renewed energy in their sex life. As Lara embraced her newfound approach, their marriage became sweeter, deeper, and more exciting than it had been in years. They rediscovered each other, not as the same old couple stuck in routine, but as lovers exploring a fresh chapter in their relationship. In fact, even the plans of getting another wife disappeared into thin air. Lara didn't just ignite the passion. She found herself again. She felt confident, empowered, and in control of her happiness. Through her intentional actions, she transformed not only her marriage, but also her own sense of satisfaction, ultimately deepening the bond they shared. My people, you see, it's normal for marriages to go through periods when things feel dull. However, Lara's journey teaches us a vital lesson. You can't let your marriage run on autopilot like a flowing river. Little changes or effort may just be what you need to see the difference you crave in your marriage. Intimacy, connection, and passion require intentional effort. With small, deliberate changes, you can create real and lasting transformation. So if you ever find yourself struggling in your marriage or in a similar situation like Lara, stuck, confused, and unsure where to turn, know that there is hope. With the right mindset, knowledge, and small but impactful changes, you can transform your relationship. This transformation isn't just for your partner, it's for you too. Your marriage can become everything you ever aspired as long as you're willing to put in the effort. These are real stories of women who faced relationship challenges they never expected. Unfortunately, this is a reality of some people, even some men too. But whatever the case may be with you right now, you need to know that you can overcome it with the right guidance and support. In this story, some women have managed to turn things around, while others are still on their path to healing. Each journey offers its own lessons, helping us make better choices and equipping us to support others facing similar challenges. I've helped many people, especially women, navigate these challenges through my ebooks, courses, workshops, and one-on-one session. Every person deserves a life filled with joy, peace, and success. Whether you're married, single, in a relationship, or engaged, you are worthy of happiness. That's why I'm here, sharing relationship insights to help you avoid common pitfalls. My goal is to help you build a blissful, stress-free relationship where you and your partner can thrive together and create the marriage you have always wanted. My name is Hajara Sani Mustafa. I'm a certified counselor, relationship coach, life coach, mental health advocate, women advocate, and the founder of Deep Healing Counseling and Coaching. Most importantly, I'm a wife, a mother of 4 beautiful children. But let me be honest, it wasn't always easy for me either. Growing up, I witnessed the devastating effects of broken marriages up close. My auntie, one of the sweetest souls I've ever known, struggled to find her footing in life due to delay in marriage. It's a big deal in my place in those days, Niger State. When you're over 30 and no sign of marriage, eventually it came and everyone was so happy for her. But just about 5 years after the marriage, it ended in heartbreak and regret. A man that used to call her baby, even in the presence of everyone, just switched off. It was a very heavy blow on her. It was a pill too hard for her to swallow. I don't want to go into details, but it was a very bad one and it hit her hard. 10 years later, she's still battling the health complication that stemmed from that marriage. Now, she's permanently on medication for life. Watching her suffer has been heartbreaking and sparked something deep inside me. Her pain became my purpose. I knew I had to help other women avoid the same fate. That experience, along with my own personal struggles, shaped the foundation of my coaching work. No woman should have to endure life-altering heartbreak or feel trapped in a harmful relationship because they are confused and don't know what to do. But along the line, I met with men too who are also undergoing their own struggles and needed help. So I help them too. It takes 2 healthy people to have a healthy and happy home. If there is nobody teaching the men, then how can my girls be happy? In fact, let me share something very personal about myself with you guys today. I've even forgotten about this part of my life. But when I meet young ladies in the course of my career, it all comes back to me and makes me want to help them more. You see, years ago, I was in a very serious relationship that I thought would last forever. We were even engaged. They had exchanged the traditional collar knots and all. To say I was happy would be an understatement. I was over the moon and my family was equally excited. I was done with my master's, was already working, so my kids had kind of reached special prayers level now. So when this guy showed up, I was very happy. It was everything I prayed to God for, so I believe God had finally answered my prayers. In fact, even my friends would ask me if he still has single friends. Hey, Hajara, how far now? Does he still have people? Does he still have friends? I felt blessed. I even had a special nickname for him then. I was literally walking on the air, fully feeling on top of the moon. But suddenly, it all came crashing. No fight, no warning, just a heart-wrenching, unexpected disconnection. What did I not do then? I begged, cried, and all, but nothing worked. The most surprising thing was that there was even no fight between us. I was devastated for a long time. I was tempted to do funny things to get him back. It took me many years to let go and heal from that. Those were one of the toughest times of my life. I questioned everything, my worth, my choices, my future, but through that process, I found strength I didn't know I had. I don't want to bore you with my story, but all I can say today is that I am glad it happened. It was a blessing in disguise. Now you will see me coaching up and down. Don't do this, do that. It's all from my own personal experiences. And today, I am happily married to a wonderful man, raising 4 amazing children. Decades ago, I didn't think that I will ever be happy again. My experience and that of other women I know keeps me going strong on this path. Over the years, I've coached more than 50 couples and individuals, helping them overcome various life struggles, like helping singles to choose wisely, premarital issues, marital issues, making important life decisions, and other personal issues. I offer clarity, closure, and guidance to those struggling in silence with issues they cannot openly discuss. I've done this over and over again through my private coachings, group coaching, courses, and ebooks. We are empathic, confidential, and non-judgmental. So whatever your challenge right now, I know that struggling alone can be very difficult. It can even lead to making more mistakes out of ignorance. And that's why you should not struggle alone in silence. You should not have to learn by trial and error. The cost of learning from your own mistakes at times may be too high, which is why it's always better to get professional help. Learn from those who have been there. A professional is a person who is trained, certified, and qualified to help you overcome these personal challenges. So irrespective of your relationship status, I have something designed just for you to find joy and fulfillment in love. So for singles or those in a new relationship, If you are serious about finding a compatible partner and avoiding the heartbreak of mismatched relationships, From Dating to Forever is for you. This guide walks you through recognizing red flags, finding compatibility, and building a future with someone who truly aligns with your values and goals. For newlyweds or marriages under 10 years, if you have noticed gaps in your connection, it's time to strengthen and safeguard your bond. Marriage Fitness Secret offers simple, proven steps to reinforce your relationship, deepen intimacy, and overcome challenges. Don't wait for issues to come up. Start nurturing your marriage today. For those healing from heartbreak or divorce, recovering from loss is tough, but healing from heartbreak and moving on provides the clarity and comfort to help you rebuild your life. Many have used this guide to heal, regain confidence, and move forward. Now it's your turn to leave the past behind and start afresh. For couples considering marriage, if you are engaged or in a serious committed relationship, my premarital coaching package equips you and your partner to begin your journey with confidence. Build a strong foundation based on communication, shared goals, and love, so you can say "I do" with joy. For married couples looking to rekindle passion, if routine has set in and intimacy have started feeling like a chore, don't let the spark fade. Over 100 sex games will help you reconnect in fun, exciting ways that keep the flame alive. Avoid the roommate phase and rediscover the excitement that brought you together before. It can help you to spice up your marriage. Now, for marriages facing serious challenges, if your marriage feels strained, the Marriage Fitness Program offers personalized support to rebuild, reconnect, and protect your relationship from the future. With 6 weeks of personalized guidance and a supportive community, you'll gain the tools to transform your marriage into a strong, joyful partnership. See what people are saying about us.
Ma, I was actually overwhelmed by everything. I felt I couldn't even keep my marriage. I felt all the years I had with him was wasted effort. But after I spoke with you, I realized all my effort was actually not wasted. Thank God I didn't die, but I saw reasons to live again. I will not dwell in my past. I now see it as my destiny. I accept in good faith. And the fact that I fell does not mean I will not rise again. I will pursue my goal and be a happy soul again. Thanks for being a shoulder to lean on. I will keep up with you, ma. Thank you very much, ma.
I highly recommend Mrs. Deep Healing for counseling and relationship coaching. I sought clarity on my emotions and relationship dynamics. After working with her, I felt a deep sense of understanding and calm. Her compassionate approach helped me improve communication, set boundaries, and experience positive changes in both my relationships and personal growth. If you need clarity and support to heal and thrive, Mrs. Deep Healing is the counselor to choose.
I feel so relieved. I'm so glad I reached out to you for guidance, to give me emotional support, and to personally grow myself. My heart was so heavy. I had to summon the courage to open up to you. Now, I feel so relieved and supported. I'm so glad I did. Each section with you gave me more hopes to a better relationship. Ma, you are a guardian angel. Your efforts are highly appreciated. Only God Almighty can reward you.
When I was going through my divorce, I felt completely lost and alone. Madam Hajura's guidance was light in my darkest moments. She didn't just offer advice, she gave me the tools and strength to face each day, helping me heal and rebuild my life. After the divorce, I was afraid to even consider a new relationship, but her support continued. She showed me how to create a healthy foundation for my new marriage, teaching me how to communicate, set boundaries, and prioritize love and respect. Thanks to her, I am now in a marriage that feels balanced, supportive, and full of hope. I thank God and I'm forever grateful for her wisdom and support, which have truly transformed my life.
Check the links below this video for details on each resource, all backed by a satisfaction guarantee. If they don't make a difference, your investment is fully refundable 100%. Explore additional resources focused on women's well-being to find the perfect support for your journey to happiness. You deserve a relationship and life that brings you joy. Start your journey today. Whether you are navigating heartbreak, seeking clarity in your current partnership, or looking to deepen your connection, my resources are designed to empower you every step of the way. Check them out under the links in this video. Thank you for your attention. I'm rooting for your success.